Hey, do you feel like your body's turning into the Tin Man? Tight hamstrings, stiff hips, frozen shoulders, losing your functional strength, mobility. Hey, I get it. And if you're like most of us, you're probably thinking, I barely have time for my current routine, let alone adding in extra long stretch sessions. Well, the good news is today you're gonna learn 3 Primal Moves to help unlock that stiff body. They combine stretching and strengthening, so you're getting double the benefit in half the time. Now, I call these Primal Moves because the goal is to tap into your body's natural movement patterns. It's the same foundations that we build on in our Primal Fitness course. So if at any point during this video you want to support the channel while leveling up your fitness, go ahead and click the link in the description and that will take you to the next page to check out the program. All right, now it's time for you to learn the 3 Primal Moves. All right, this first exercise is gonna be a variation of the Cossack squat, but we're gonna make it a little bit more primal. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now for level 1, I'd recommend having a chair or something like this that you can use to support yourself. Let me show you real quick what we're doing. So you're gonna spread your legs. So let me move this out of the way. Spread your legs as far as you can comfortably. Put your feet at a 45-degree angle, and we're gonna be going side to side like this. Now, as we go and dip down, we don't want the knee to come inside. So we don't want the knee to bend in like this, and we don't want it to go too far out. We want it to go in line with the foot. So we're here, in line with the foot. Keep the head tall, reaching tall, so the back straight. We're dipping that hip down. We don't want to forward fold very much. We want to try to keep it nice and straight. So we're like that. Go down just as far as you can comfortably. If you need that assistance, that's where you have this. Because we want this to be light and comfortable, we're focusing on the stretch. We go down, push down with this hip if you can to really feel that stretch in that opposite leg. Back up, and then we switch. Same thing, go down, really get that stretch, come back up. That's level 1. Now level 2, we're gonna start making it a little more primal. So we're gonna do the same thing, but instead of just coming back up, we're now going to cross. So now we're really opening up these hips, adding a lot more strength and mobility here as we switch over in that low position, then come back up, back down, switch, and then back up. Now level 3 is we go as deep as we can. So now we're really going to sit in that stretch. So bend down with the knee, sit down as far as we can, then cross over, hold, come back up. So now we're really opening up those hips. We're working on that split stance here, and then across. Now, the reason why we learn this, as we get more into these primal moves, one of the moves you're going to learn is the side-to-side QM, where you need this flexibility. So say we start here, you need this hip flexibility to come down and across to do this comfortably and safely. And a lot of the other primal movements will need that hip mobility. This next move is called the peacock, and you're gonna see the influences of Kung Fu and ballet in this move. We're gonna get a lot of hip opening and some work in the shoulders and even the spine. All right, so level 1, place your feet about shoulder width apart, and we're gonna turn out the feet. So opening up those hips. We're gonna reach tall with the head, so stand tall, neutral spine, shoulders down and back. From this position, we're gonna take a step back. So with our right leg, maintain this turnout, and we're gonna reach it behind our front leg, aligning it with our heel. So the toe aligned with the heel, and try to maintain that turnout position. So we step back here, and you can see that ballet influence with this, really opening up those hips. Then we're gonna go back to the starting position, now the opposite, step back, and then we're back. So just start by doing this, stepping forward and back. You should feel the opening up of the hips right here. Then we're gonna take it up a notch. So we're still in level 1, but I want you to rotate now the upper body. So make sure to stay tall, reach tall, shoulders down and back. We're going to rotate the upper body towards our front leg. So as we step back, rotating that upper body. And same thing here, rotating the opposite way. Then once we have this down, let's start to open up the shoulders more. So we'll take the arms, press them out. like a palm strike. This is where that kung fu kind of comes in. As we're opening up the shoulders even more, as we twist, hands come out, it'll look like this. And if we want to open up the shoulders even more, we can reach up, get a full movement with the shoulders. All right, level 2, we're gonna do the exact same thing, but now we're gonna add a partial squat to open up those hips even more and add in some extra strength. So same thing, but instead of just stepping, now we're going to reach back a little bit further and we're going to sit into a partial squat. So we're here and then up. And then again, add in the arms. So we're here. And again, we can lift up the arms to add in a little bit extra here. All right, level 3, now we're gonna squat down even further, build on some more of that strength, and open up those hips even more. So same thing, but now we're reaching back a little bit further, and we're gonna squat down as far as we can, see if we can get to the point where the knee almost touches the ground, we rotate, and then we're up. And then same thing, opposite side, we go down as far as we can, see if we can touch that knee almost to the ground, and then come up. You'll really feel that in the hips and your glutes stretching on this one. And then again, if you want to open up those shoulders even more, we can reach up and come back down. This foot placement and rotation is gonna help you with a lot of different movements as you get more advanced, or if you're just wanting to have some fun with kung fu movements, then this stance work, this mobility is gonna help a lot with that. All right, this next movement is going to be fantastic for your hamstrings and your hip flexors. We're gonna take 2 yoga movements, the crescent pose and the pyramid pose, and modify them. You'll see how we'll turn that into a primal crawling move. Now, for this, we're just gonna focus primarily on the flexibility, but at the end, I'll show you how you can turn it into that crawl that we call the crocodile. Now, for level 1, I want you to find a stool or a chair so you can support yourself during the whole thing, and we're gonna start on our knees like this. So first, we're gonna get into our lunge position, stack the knee over the foot, and for the back leg, same thing, knee under the hip. And I want you to take your chair or your stool and place it next to your leg. This way you can support yourself during the whole time. And when we do this move, especially with this first lunge, I want you to think about reaching tall with the head and to posterior tilt the hip so you can get a nice stretch in that hip flexor. So if I show you from this angle, instead of anterior tilting like this, where you have this arch back here, posterior tilt, so we're gonna turn the hip underneath us so we can really feel the stretch right here in the hip flexor. And so here's what it's gonna look like as we go down. So we're gonna lunge forward as far as we can comfortably. Again, staying upright, turning that hip under and pushing as far as we can. Supporting ourselves as much as we need. And then the second part of this is now we're gonna come back. So we're gonna drive the hips back. Again, try to keep the back straight if you can, and then straighten this front leg. We're gonna sit back down, straighten this front leg. If you want, you can pull up the toes to get an extra stretch in here, and you should feel that in the hamstring. So try to pull your chest down to your knee, and then back up, and then we're back into this lunge. So it's a nice little flow like this, back and forth, as we stretch a little bit further each time. And then we'd switch legs and do the exact same thing. That's level 1. Level 2, we're going to get rid of this thing. So we're gonna get rid of the support, and now we're just going to use our hands, but we're still gonna be on the knees. So same principle, same exact thing. Now in order to reach the ground, our back's gonna have to lean over, but what I want you to do is try to straighten it as you go into the lunge. So we're here on all fours, place our hand about 2 fists away from our foot, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Lean into the lunge, but as we go into it, I want you to try to pull your chest up as much as you can and open up this hip. So we're opening up here, pulling up the chest. If you have to, you can get a smaller obstacle like a yoga block or something to lift yourself up just a little bit. And then we go back down Same thing, but now we're a little bit lower. We have to have more flexibility to get down into this position. Come back, and then we're doing the exact same thing. Opening up, that lunge, and then back and forth. And then we'd switch and do the exact same thing with the other leg. And then level 3, now we're gonna make it a lot harder. We're going to elevate ourselves, so it's gonna require more strength, more flexibility. So instead of being on our knees, we're going to lift this up so that we're now up in the air like this, and then we're gonna do the same thing. So now we're leaning forward into the lunge, same thing. Try to pull that chest up, dip the leg down, and then come back. And then we're going back and forth like this. And then we'd switch, same thing. So we're here, lunging forward, getting as deep as we can. Trying to straighten this back leg, but you don't have to be really stiff with it. As you'll see, as we go into the crawl, we're gonna kind of flow into it. Back, same thing. Here, boom, extend that leg, straighten this back leg, and here. And so if we were gonna go into the crocodile crawl, that's where it looks like this. So QM type of movement, but instead of a normal QM where we're crawling like this, we're going to go into that deep lunge, so we're really stretching here. So instead, it would look like this. Here, boom, crawl, boom, crawl, boom. And if you wanted to, you could add in that hamstring stretch too. So we're here, boom, back, step, boom, back, step. And that's how we modify that and turn it into that crocodile crawl. All right, so those were the 3 Primal Moves. Now I recommend doing each of those for 30 seconds and rotating from one move to the next, and do 1 to 3 rounds of this. Now if you like this type of exercises and you haven't gone through a Primal Fitness program, go ahead and click the link in the description. That'll take you to the page to learn more about this course, and then you can join us inside there. We do moves similar to this, and we add in beginner calisthenics so that you can build a stronger, pain-free body. So again, thanks for watching, keep moving, and I'll see you in the next video.